maybe that's what it was. Just driven mad, searching for days without sleep for those caches of nuts.
That's a known thing, is they hide them and can't find them, and it's got to be a frustrating thing. And who knows, they reached their limit.
Maybe the cement was being poured literally over where this squirrel had stashed some nuts in the ground or something.
Oh, and then he was diving just to get them. No, 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 no.
Why, hello there, freak. So glad you could join us. Time to listen in on another seriously silly conversation with Gretchen and the Lukes.
Whoa, Lukes. Here's something for you out of Chicago.
Oh, out of Chicago. I used to live in Chicago.
Me too. Have you ever heard of the...
Is this about some bills I haven't paid? Is this going to be someone catching up to me and saying, hey, when you moved, you still owe us utilities? Because I don't want to hear that part.
It could be. Could be. If you had maybe something to do with this. I don't know if you... Have you ever heard of a rat hole? The rat hole? That's not a club or an establishment. It's a piece of sidewalk in Roscoe Village on Chicago's north side.
I don't know. I this sounds familiar, but I can't even tell you what it is. A rat hole?
So it's an imprint in a piece of sidewalk that's been there for about 20 years, maybe more, and it looks like a rat fell when the cement was wet. So it's a full, like...
That's funny. Like
imagine or mold.
Like a rat just tripping. Like, oh, shit. Oh, come on. I can't believe I'm in the... Oh, and now it's all over my outfit.
And so it looks like it fell from a tree. So there are some neighbors that have said it isn't actually a rat. It was a squirrel. It's hard to tell. Looks like it has a little skinny rat tail, but it fell just completely in. You could see little claws, the whole shape. And it's been just like this kind of a weird quirk of that neighborhood, again, for like 20 years. But then somebody shared a picture of it, and all of a sudden it started getting lots of attention. And the neighbors became disgruntled about it because they said they began to get visitors at all hours. People were leaving coins and other items in the little hole of the rat, the little rat hole. People were coming to take pictures with it and
People
stuff.
Are such idiots.
And so,
oh my God.
So then now, it was feeling like a nuisance, and the neighborhood then, it became a whole thing. And so then the city, it says a collaborative decision between the city departments and the mayor's office decided like what they're going to do about this.
So there was a meeting in the mayor's office. We used up the Chicago mayor's valuable time where they're fighting crime. They're fighting murder. They're fighting
the cold,
thievery, everything that you're dealing with in Chicago. They're fighting some like mediocre baseball teams. They're fighting a struggling football franchise, and yet the rat hole is on the mayor's desk. That's got to just piss them off.
Yes, and I don't know if the neighbors added this in there just so they could have a better case, because apparently they say that little section of the sidewalk is kind of uneven. So they're saying that it could be, I guess, dangerous with the combination of it being a little uneven and then having this massive tourist attraction of the rat hole that you could like throw pennies into, like a city kid's wishing well.
If it's the size of a squirrel, like it's smaller than my foot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think when it's been there for 20 years, so clearly like it hasn't been an issue, but all the people that it's attracting, the neighbors have complained, and the thing about it is that they're taking it out. They'd brought in equipment, took out the big piece of sidewalk, and they're going to have, they're just going to refill it with just a plain square.
Now, I'll have to say, I'm looking at it right now, and I really feel like it's a hilarious outline. It's like a tribute to the clumsy squirrel. I don't know why they call it a rat hole, because if that's a rat, that thing's huge.
But look at that tail.
That it looks like a rat tail, not a squirrel tail, for sure. So that's a
But
big ass rat. And then, because I can see in one picture they have a person's hand next to it, so it is literally the size of like somebody's size 10 foot.
it's kind of cool.
I think it's kind of hilarious. And I see there's one where someone put a mouse inside the rat hole to show a size difference, and it's a tremendously large creature, whatever it was.
And I love that.
This
I
says,
love too.
here's a story that says, man helps clean out rat hole after someone fills it in.
Like somebody filled it in with plaster of Paris at one point to try to like just bring it back up to even. And but yes, somebody dug it out, apparently dug it back out. I think that it's
I see a cardboard coffin. I see someone left a cigarette box and in memory of, and then they have a looks like it says Chimley. They're calling him Chimley, the big rat. It's
funny.
hilarious. I can't imagine. And then there's another one that has, it looks like it's got to be about $3 or $4 worth of coins just laying in it. How on earth does that not get stolen? There's another one that has the Chicago Bulls mascot laying next to it. There's one with a pink heart drawn around it, and in the whole thing, it looks like if you have a murder scene and you outline the body, it looks like that, but a rat. And the rat looks like it had tried to stop itself with its arms.
Yeah, it looks like a cartoon, like falling, just flat on its face in the ground.
Exactly.
Or when you run through a door and it leaves a full imprint in a cartoon or something.
And that doesn't say anything about and we found the rat dead in the hole. So obviously the rat fell and went, and then it was like, son of a bitch. And then it just got up and it just had to walk away. But you don't see any footsteps away. So maybe it did die.
Exactly, young detective. I don't know. I think
they call me young detective.
Yes. It fell all the way. It fell in hard enough, right, to make that full indentation.
Oh yeah, I mean it looks like it's about an inch deep.
I feel like it probably just laid there and rotted. It's only a hole now after the whole carcass is gone, the bones are gone.
You think that whoever lived around that neighborhood just left a dead rat in that cement until it rotted away? That would take probably a month.
Yep.
Yeah, boy, that's Chicago though. That's Chicago. Hey, it serves him right.
Maybe it's just like a reminder. I don't know. I wonder if that rat was in there. That would be kind of terrible. Can you imagine if it's alive and if its little face is poking up as people are walking by?
Little help?
People
Anybody?
probably I could see people just walking by and ignoring that. I mean, we look at all the things we ignore as we walk by a busy urban street.
It reminds me of when I had bunion surgery on my right foot and I was on crutches. I took a similar spill. I didn't fall in cement, but that was when I fell in front of the neighbors that lived downstairs from us, and I fell in front of their apartment door, and they were watching TV, and they just saw me, my big body, fall and land on the steps right past them. And the embarrassment I felt must have been something similar to what that rat felt, where it's like, oh my God, I can't believe everybody just saw me do that. But if he died, I mean, that's, I don't know that we should be joking about it. If this rat died, I mean, is that okay? Is that in the rat world? Are you allowed to mock?
I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with this. I don't know. I mean, rats are, we have a unique relationship with rats. We do all of our medical testing on them. We grow ears on their backs.
What if this was a medical test?
Exterminate them.
Was some sort of a medical test to see, the effects of gravity on a creature
I love that the things people will travel to see or go look for.
Yeah.
Like the fact that of all of these pictures that are being taken with this crazy rat hole. I just imagine it's just a funny sight to me to like the people that have been living there for 20 years with the just kind of being a little maybe a lesser known neighborhood quirk, like a little local thing, then getting spread on X and now having tourists come at the
Well,
front of your house. I
is
mean,
that a bad thing though? Because the coffee shops, the pizza shops, the diners are all, the parking, the rat hole parking situation. I mean, you know how that goes in Chicago. That when there's a game, if there's a Cubs game or a Sox game, everyone who lives there locally sells off whatever spot they can sell in order to give parking to the people who are attending that event. And they overcharge the hell out of them, like it's a $20 or $30 parking spot. So the rat hole parking, that's got to be some income coming in. The rat hole pizza business, come on.
I mean, if this neighborhood doesn't want it, it seems like kind of a good idea to just pour some interesting shapes into the concrete.
Yeah, I don't know
all
if you could do
over,
it on
like
purpose.
a new trend.
I think that the part that makes this so fun is that this was an accidental indentation.
Yes, a true rat trap.
I've never said those two words together. An accidental indentation. As those two words have never come out of my mouth in that order.
Nope. This is a first for that. An accidental indentation.
It reminds me of when I worked at Disney MGM Studios. Every day they would do a imprint ceremony, and they would have a celebrity come in and put their hands in the cement and recreate the sort of the handprint ceremony that you would do on Hollywood Boulevard. And they would pay this celebrity, this like C-list celebrity, $10,000 at the time to come in with their family and then do this handprint ceremony. So I'm wondering if that's something that we can begin to do in Chicago. There, get a periodic hand, like I don't know, an animal print ceremony happening. Make it a tradition. Have a parade. Give away free hats. I'm just spitballing here, but
I don't know how I'm going to do it, but this is what I want to dress up as Halloween next year. The rat hole.
As the rat hole. That's funny. How would you do that? You would have to
make like a big giant foam gray square or something, like you're the square of cement with the little indentation of the rat, and then maybe someone goes as the rat from the hole. Doing interviews, the rat who survived,
the flat-faced rat.
I do see how it might have been a squirrel. It says many in the neighborhood argue. I picture the arguments that the imprint was actually caused by a squirrel.
It's a goddamn squirrel. You can tell it's too big for a rat. Yeah, but the tail. Look at the tail. It's a rat tail. Yeah, but the squirrel has a straight edge, and when it falls in cement, it probably doesn't make a fluffy
indentation. And if it just hit it.
It went whack. It looked like it must have been. I'm picturing. Was there a sword fight happening between a squirrel and a sparrow, and then the squirrel fell? But was it a suicide? Was there a depressed squirrel that was done? If I see one more nut, I can't take it. I'm done. I can't find the nuts I buried. Fuck this. I'm done.
Oh man, maybe that's what it was. Just driven mad, searching for days without sleep for those caches of nuts.
Yeah, and that's a known thing, is they hide them and can't find them, and it's got to be a frustrating thing. And who knows? They reached their limit.
Maybe the cement was being poured literally over where this squirrel had stashed some nuts in the ground or something.
Oh, and then he was diving just to get them.
And,
no!
I mean, we're assuming that it's like, maybe it went all the way through. And what we see is this indentation, and I assume there was like a dead carcass there rotting for however long, but maybe it slipped all the way through to some other dimension.
Oh, a dimensional time warp.
Concrete.
Golly. Well, if that's the case, then boy, anything's possible. We could picture this rat in a better place now, I guess. Maybe on the other side of this dimension, and it's trying to get back, but the cement hardened.
And maybe people come here because they know this is some sort of portal to another place. Boy, that would drive, I'm sure, these neighbors even crazier if it had some weirdo new age twist on it
Oh yeah.
where not only are there people showing up taking selfies, but now there's people with doing all sorts of prayers and things and chants trying to somehow slip through that portal.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I know that there's been sightings of like a statue of Mary who's weeping. There's a statue of Jesus that was bleeding, or at least there was liquid coming out. And it always turns out, like, have you ever heard of that one? There was I think it was a statue of Mary where there's tears coming out, and it turned out it was sewage water that was backed up, and people were drinking it and collecting it and hoping it was some sort of miracle cure, and it was sewage water.
Oh no.
So you got to be careful. Like, you can't assume it's a portal and then, turns out it goes straight to the sewer.
Right? Like you don't want to automatically in modern times assume portal or miracle before you check leaky plumbing.
Just anything that's going to put shit in your mouth. You don't want that.
Yeah.
You're going to
love
pink eye.
I love whatever it is in us human beings that will go for the roadside attraction, whatever, or the sidewalk attraction in this case of the rat hole, the crazy world's largest ball of yarn.
Yeah, they have so many things like that. They have the on Route 66, they have Cadillac Ranch or whatever that is, where they have the guy buried whatever it is, a half a dozen Cadillacs ass up.
Yeah.
We saw that. We drove by that. That was a bit of a letdown once you see it. It's funny how those things seem bigger and crazier in the pictures, and then you go, like, if we saw the rat hole, we'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's the size of my foot. It's got some cigarette butts in it, and it's the shape of a rat. Got it. Where's the portal? Yeah, we love that stuff, don't we? Like let's bring a picnic. Let's bring my kids, show them history.
So I guess actually now, no, you can't go see the rat hole.
No, why?
Going away.
What'd they do? They filled
away.
it, like they cemented it in? That's why would you do that?
They had to replace that whole big square, right?
It'd be great if another rat hole just made its way into it.
People would keep digging it out, so they can't just fill in the little rat.
No.
Yes.
It's
what
like
a strange problem.
It's
I
like
guess
using
like
whiteout to fix an error in your paperwork. They're like trying to use plaster of Paris to fill in this rat, and it just doesn't work.
I wonder if this leads me into the second story here, and I wonder if there's a connection. This is a story of 5 military horses who got spooked. In London and bolted.
Oh no.
And were just running and, just hauling ass all through.
I say there, chap. Slow down. You're running too fast. You're going to hurt someone.
It says they were blazing a path of mayhem and injuries as they ran through the city free. I wonder if they thought they were about to become a sidewalk attraction.
Ooh, I love that there was mayhem. You don't get to use that word a lot in the news.
There is mayhem, horsehem, maybe.
Ooh, horsehem, yes. Oh, wow. Well, a frightened horse is scary. Those things, it's like having a tank just out of control. That thing can sort of force its will on anything. It's so big.
Yes.
But there's a group of them. I
wonder
if 5 horses. I wonder who's the groomsman that's in charge of those 5 horses that effed up.
Ooh, I don't know.
It'll be fine. I'll go in for a quick cup of tea, and then I'll come out, and the horses should still be here. Oh, what the bloody hell? They're gone. Oh, my. The mayhem. Pure mayhem. A catastrophe, at best. That's my best English accent. I can't really... I guess I could... there's several I can do. What? Oh, bloody hell! My horses are gone.
I wonder if they had a plan.
Oh, like they like. All right, when I
Horses.
on the fifth, when I bring my hoof down for the fifth time, we all make a break for it.
Yeah, and run somewhere, start a new life.
I've got a cousin who's got some saddles in their barn. It's extra. No, you wouldn't want a saddle. If you're a horse running free, you'd want no saddle. You'd want
Yeah,
to be saddle free. What am I thinking?
that's
Jesus.
true.
It's such a
You're like,
human
my
plan.
cousin has extra saddles.
Oh no, your cousin's an idiot. That's what we're trying to run away from, you dumbass.
Trying to live human free.
Are you a mule or a horse, you stupid?
They need us.
They
don't
need us.
need them.
We don't need them. Maybe they wear the saddles just to tease people and the assless saddles. That sounds like a band name.
The assless saddles.
Please welcome to the stage the assless saddles. Rat hole, rat hole.
Rat hole.
The number one hit song, Rat Hole.
Oh
man, well these animals
I want a rat hole now.
Are running free, like the squirrel or the rat has just run amok and landed in cement. These horses. Now, what would be great to tie these two stories in would be if these 5 horses ran directly over fresh cement, like to the dismay of whoever just laid it.
Yes. If we could have horse hoof holes.
Ugh.
Or if these 5 horses somehow traveled all the way straight over to the rat hole in Chicago, Illinois, United States.
Yeah,
if they were going to see the famous rat hole.
It's time. It's time to go visit, friends. Yeah.
Now, have you heard of this? It's an event called Hurry Up and Wait. And it happens in Paris. I guess the last time that they did this race was in 2011, but now they've brought it back. And apparently this is a centuries-old race. It's called Hurry Up and Wait, and it's servers or restaurant workers, waiters and waitresses, that speed walk through Paris, and they are balancing trays of beverages and croissants.
For racing purposes?
Mm-hmm. It's been going on for at least 100 years.
Isn't that
race?
This is in France or England?
France. Now this is France.
Now, isn't France notorious for shitty wait service? Like, isn't that the whole like when you go to France, you can't expect the wait staff to wait on you too efficiently, especially if you're a tourist? Am I wrong?
I don't know.
Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong thing, but I always thought that when you go to France, one of the things that you have to be willing to do is sit there for 2 hours for lunch because they're very casual about how they approach it.
I've never heard that. I don't know.
Oh, well, you have been to France. I've never been there. What was the service like?
I didn't notice. I mean, I feel like people, whenever people say like, what was it like here or there, I feel like it's such an individual experience, because a lot of people maybe talk that the French are rude, but I think that I didn't find that. I think I don't know, I had no problems. No problems. I love the idea of a fast walking race. And with everyone holding the trays.
Yeah, I think that's a kind of funny. That should be like a TV show. Like, it'd be fun to watch. This says the French way of serving. Have you ever heard of this?
What?
Sets a total of 5 waiters for each one of the guests in order to satisfy everyone's requests and needs. The meal is served on a platter, thus inviting people to feel free into serving themselves. That's called French service.
5 waiters. That sounds like pretty good service.
Yeah, if all 5 of them are attentive and if all 5 of them are into it, I I don't know. I guess I'm just thinking the movies where it's kind of like, oh, the American would like some food. Well, fuck off.
Right, but maybe it was like a Chevy Chase movie, and he's the obnoxious American,
I'm
and the
guessing it was
French
like
don't like him.
Peter Sellers was the waiter, probably in my fantasy.
Right
Do
now,
you
could
want a spoon? I'll get you a spoon in just a moment. Hold on for a second. And 2 hours later, here's your spoon. Hope that was quick enough for your quiche.
they have to tell it though through all five?
Yeah.
Waiter one has to tell waiter two, who has to send the signal to waiter
Very good,
4
very
to
good.
5.
Waiter 3, there's no spoons right now. Very good. Waiter 4, tell them there's no spoons. Very good. 5, no spoons. Oh, now that by the time it got to the 5th waiter, there are new clean spoons. Never mind. Forget that.
Do you think you could can you carry a tray? Like I've waited and bartended enough where I feel like this is an event I could at least try to enter in, like carry a tray and do fast walking. I can do both of those things.
Yeah, I'm guessing that that's not my forte. I'd like to say that it sounds easy and that a child could do it, because that's what people who've never waited tables think. But I think that there's a with a platter like that, there's a balance issue, and depending on how things are set on the platter or on the tray. And then there's a balance issue of how you're holding it. So you have 5 fingers spread out, probably, I'm guessing, not your palm. You can't go palm. And then I'm guessing that walking causes the whole thing to sway. So are you allowed to use your second hand to hold onto the tray? I mean, is it like a 2-hand thing, or do you have to do a 1 hand on the shoulder kind of thing? I wonder if there's rules.
I don't know if there are specific rules.
Could you
It
use your
looks like
head? Because some people are good
people-
at balancing that shit on your head.
It seems like most people are using one hand to carry the tray. I mean, I think that each person, each server is just using your own technique with how you carry your tray.
Okay.
Like some people
Okay.
like to carry them up and all the way over their head. Some people like to carry them down.
I imagine some use their shoulder, some.
Well, anyway, anytime there's fast walking being talked about as a sport, I appreciate it. I like it.
Why is that? What's the deal with you and fast walking?
I don't know. I just respect it. I like to do it. I like that it gets the credit it deserves, where like it's incredibly impactful on your health in a positive way and incredibly easy on your joints. Makes so much sense. Just the idea of speed walking, if people can get past the silliness of it, of how it looks.
It does look a little silly. It especially the ones that do it for real. Like if you take away the tray and all that, but the people that do fast walking, it reminds me of Monty Python's Academy of Silly Walks. Where John Cleese is doing a ridiculous looking walk, and then the guy comes in to sort of have his own silly walk, and he shows John Cleese, and John Cleese is like, nah, that's not silly at all. You remember that sketch?
I do. Yeah.
Pretty good one. So yeah, the fast walking reminds me of that, because these people are stretching out their leg. Like you have to use your body to its full extent without creating a run. So that's a rough one.
Have you ever been in any kind of races? In a race of any kind?
Well, like I can remember doing, like a sack race where you take a old potato sack, like that's made out of, what would those be made out of?
Burlap?
Like burlap. Yeah. And then you put 2 legs in the burlap sack and you're hopping. Or you and a partner each have 1 leg in the burlap sack. And so you have to work as a 3-legged beast. So your right legs are moving and then your middle legs are moving as one. So I've done that. I've never won. I've not even placed. I typically trip and fall. I'm not, I got no cartilage in my right ankle. So I'm not really capable of doing fast walking. What about you? Have you been have you fast walked for competition?
I was trying to think about that. I I would love to, but I don't think I actually have. I mean,
Oh, you would love to.
I can see myself walking quickly in all sorts of different areas, but I don't think anyone was ever competing with me. Like I may have been running some of my own competitions, walking down a busy, crowded sidewalk where I'm keeping track of how much faster I'm walking than everyone else there. I just walk fast and I'm just like, in your face, my dust. So in
But
a
you don't remember having a
self-proclaimed
tray
way,
with you while doing that.
well, we're no, not the we're just talking the fast walking.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, that, I mean,
but I would enter an event like this for sure because I think it would be fun.
well, you have the qualifications. You've actually waited tables, so I think that's like where someone like me underestimates the skill involved in holding a tray, especially those wide trays. Because now you're talking about. I mean, I have pretty big hands though. I don't know if you can see on the screen there. My hand is the size of my head if I put it close enough to the camera.
Yeah,
Using
that would be
optical
good
illusion.
for.
So that would be a good, like if you can picture a tray on top of that wide ass palm, I imagine. But then, do I trust my wrist? I trust my fingertips and I trust my palm, but do I trust my wrist to not flop over or?
And you're walking, like you said, the movement. It is quite a skill to keep it all balanced. And then actually, I remember learning this part of the skill that, oh yeah, there's like you have to really think about how you take items off of your tray. I remember like mastering holding a tray. It's got like 8 heavy beers in like tall,
like
beer
mugs.
glasses. But the kind that were a little more top heavy.
Oh, right.
They're like those like Hefeweizen beers, I forgot the name of the type of glass. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Big beer glasses. And making it to the table.
Right. You got to how do you dismount?
But then I take one off to serve and my whole tray flipped over, shattering all the glasses and beer.
That happened to you?
Yeah.
Is that
I think the way you learn to use your tray is having those waiter nightmare experiences for yourself. Totally, that happened to me. Sucked.
Now, I've seen waiters carry, I don't know what they're called, but they seem like a tiny, not a shelf, but it's like a like that they flatten out and then they put the tray on top of it while they're serving the food so that they're not having to hold the tray the whole time. What are those called?
It looks like a luggage rack.
A luggage, yeah, exactly. It's a rack. It's like
because then you have those are your large trays that are going to have all your meals, on them. And I've worked in restaurants where we use that. But I've worked in a lot of restaurants where we don't have that. And you just have to hold the thing. But it's mainly the drinks where you don't set it down.
Yeah, I would think that's too
and
too
in
fast.
a busy bar, then you have to carry them up.
Yeah, if you can't do that, then we don't want you on our wait staff.
It was definitely a tricky skill. It was wild though to master it because it really is like it's like actually using and appreciating physics in daily life.
True. That's
every time you moved,
practical application.
Yeah, and there's all these like factors that are constantly changing, and your job is to be able to feel and intuit all the different points on the tray as it moves. Or as you take something off and making sure that you're like keeping the weight distributed evenly and stuff.
See that, like, why didn't they teach us that in physics class? Like, it would have been nicer to apply real life scenarios to the physics that we were learning instead of an egg drop. There never once since I did the egg drop did I do another egg drop to try to see if I could topple an egg off of a cliff and keep it from shattering. But
do a rat drop.
What's that?
A rat drop.
A rat drop, yeah. To bring it right home. But if they would have just said to me, Mike, physics is important. Why? Because if you're carrying a tray, because we look at your skills and it looks like this is going to be something that you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. Hold a tray, balance it off, and then you could try putting different size mugs on it. You could try putting food versus thing, and then how do you dismount? How do you get those things off without toppling the tray? That, to me, that's a way more real life practical use of physics than any of this other stuff, like a bridge made of matchsticks or whatever else your physics teacher is trying to get you to do.
Yeah, I think there should be more of that too. More
Practical
trade
physics.
practice.
Trade practice.
More
Come
trade
on.
practice. And more sidewalk attractions. I don't know why, but I really am kind of fascinated with this rat hole, and I love the idea of having something unique in the sidewalk in front of my house.
I guess until the strangers start showing up and taking pictures and littering.
Then I get to watch the strangers.
But what if they're rude? You don't know what this rat hole group of people are. Like these rat holers could be idiots. They could be assholes. They could be. They smoke cigarettes and throw the butts on the ground. They
Maybe
have
I
cans of beer that they're tossing down. They have so much extra money that they can just toss coins inside the rat hole. So they're that group. They don't value money as much.
I need to have a little bunny rabbit then, maybe.
Oh, the bunny hole people are definitely different.
I wonder if they're a little less edgy than the rat hole gang.
Yeah. Well,
does it feel more tragic though to imagine a bunny falling?
It sure does.
Than a rat.
Right when you said that, I was picturing that poor bunny's fur in that cement, and I was just thinking,
sitting there waiting to die and leave like a mold.
Oh, bunny hole. I don't want the bunny hole.
Nah.
Bunny
rat
hole sounds.
Holes.
Yeah, rat hole sounds better.
Just like saying it.
All right.
Well, hey, thanks for that conversation.
Yeah, that was a good one. Appreciate you. We'll do it again.